Hello, my name's Darryl Lee. I'm with Team Purpose LLC, and I'm coming to you today with an update on community. And I'm going to bring the updates in three parts. First part is going to be distractions. Uh, with distractions, I'm going to talk about the current state of Americans today, all Americans, to be honest with you, but especially the Black community. And then we're going to talk a little bit about religion, how religion has definitely played a part in mankind being misled about his beliefs. And then we're going to talk about chaos, the chaos that's going on because of the other two, because of the distractions, because of the religious belief that has been imposed on man. Starting out with distractions. You know, the dumbest animal in the world is the sheep. The sheep don't do anything without leadership. And depending on that leadership can have them walk clean off a mountain without even thinking twice about it. They just led uh, uh, in ways that benefits others. And, I see a lot of that in the communities today. One update is we picked a convenience store that's a neighborhood convenience store. And we went to them and we definitely told them if they didn't clean this place up, we was going to stop doing business with them. It was only five of us that made that complaint. And within a week, things changed. The parking lot started being cleaned. The store started being cleaned. We didn't get to the part to where we was going to demand that they actually uh, hire people from the community. But before I mention the name and the location of this company, that's going to be the final request is that they hire people from the community. Uh, it was a success. And I went in this store the other day, and the owner seemed to have some type of attitude for doing what he should have been doing anyway. I guess he just didn't like the fact that it was me and five others coming to bring it to his attention that we are watching this and we are demanding better customer service, a better welcoming atmosphere, and we want to do business in safe places. So that was a plus, and I'm proud of that. And it didn't take a whole uh, uh, group protesting in the front of the building. It was all done through conversation and teamwork. So we brought it all to him. Doing he's making the right adjustments. But let's get back to talking about this sheep mentality. Man has been locked into uh, the lack of thinking for himself. And it is so bad that it's a part of every system that man has to come in contact with. The only one he don't have to come in contact with is the criminal justice system. That's a whole nother animal by itself. But the working market, the educational market, just, pretty much everybody born into this world would have to go through these particular institutions, the church as well. Everybody's going to experience at one time in their lives one of these institutions, if not all. So, you know, the uh, uh, the lock is once you reach a certain age, everybody expects you to get a job. And what they don't tell you is that job is going to take your ideas. It's going to take your dream, and you're going to have to follow protocol from that day forward. So, my answer to that is never give up on your dream. Never think your idea is a stupid idea unless it's proven to be a stupid idea. But even if that's so, you have a mind of your own. You have a understanding of your own. And ideas in your life is very important. Otherwise, you live other people's dreams. You work on other people's dreams. You work on other people's ideas. And this is so uh that sheep mentality is so embedded in the Black community, and it's hard to dig up because every conversation I have with a brother or a sister from these communities, it's always somebody else telling them what's the next move they should make. They don't use their brain for anything other than I like having a drink and I got money in my pocket, so I'm gonna have a drink. But the lock in is you better get your butt up and you better go to work in the morning. You better not you're not gonna have time to think about opening up your own business. And you definitely not gonna make enough money on somebody else's job trying to open up your own business. And I'll say this now, this is creative thinking. And it's not the first time it's been done. It just hadn't been done enough. This same store allowed a young lady to set up a booth to sell muffins. Uh, not the stove and all this other stuff. The muffins are not cooked in the store, but she is taking orders up front, and she's making these muffins for her clients. So what she's done is, she used her idea, and all she had to do was figure out a way to get it started. She couldn't go to the bank and say, "Look, I need $10,000 to start this muffin business." She couldn't go to the finance company without getting ripped off and say, "Hey, I need $10,000." So she had to come outside of the natural ways of, or the common ways of starting a business. And she started it, with, "I'm going to take orders, I'm going to collect the money, and I'm going to deliver the muffins to you. If you don't want the muffins, I didn't want the muffins, but I did contribute to her cause. I gave a donation. I say, here, uh, don't worry about making me any muffins. Just here's a donation, because I admire what you're doing." And she had her children with her. And it's thinking like that. It don't necessarily have to be making muffins. It can be, I have a lawnmower, I have a rake, I have a blower, and I have an edger or a weed eater or whatever. You got to look at what you have in order to get started. Don't despise a small beginning. You're not going to get rich on your first client, but that's your start. And you build it into anything that you want to build it into. Now, I'm not against, working for other people. I'm against a man not, he's been conditioned to not even think, not even consider anything other than the normal routine. 18, get a job, go to the military, or, continue your education. That's all the options a 18-year-old get today, even from the family. And, most families are going to say, you need to get to know God. And that's true. You really do need to go know God. So let's get into the religious aspect of it. If what you were told in the church really worked, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I turned 63 years old yesterday. So I'm not talking about anything that I haven't experienced in my own life. I've had several businesses, they've failed, but it didn't deter me. I've driven any kind of car that you can imagine. And some I lost, and some I just said, hey, if you got to control me like this because of that, you can have that back. And it was an attitude like that because I refused to sit down. And I'm gonna say this too: a black man working for in a company under another black man, in a lot of cases, that black man is worse than working for the white man. Because he's so scared, he's so fearful of losing his job, and his thinking ability is his job is his life. So if he ever loses his job, he lose everything, which is not true. You just have to use your brain to do uh to follow your dream. You have to do these things in order to not get caught up in the world system that's going to have you work for more than half of your life. And once you finish uh, that that process of working yourself for somebody else for more than half of your life, you're going to retire. You've given them all that you can give them as far as life. So all you can do is look at yourself and say, hey, you know what? I have to spend the majority of my money on medication. I have to spend too much money just to live out the rest of my life. And that job that you retired from is not going to do anything to help you. That job that you gave your the majority of your life to, just say, hey, we respect your service and we appreciate your service, but it's time to move on. And it's a lot of people in that situation, and in some cases you don't even uh uh you don't even enjoy your life for that period of your life. You might take a vacation, but at the end of that vacation, you got to go back to that job that you hate. In most cases, I never like enjoyed working for other people. That was that seemed like a big problem in my life, but it really wasn't. It was a blessing because and I never would have had or received what I really wanted out of this life by going that route. They never was going to pay me enough money to live the lifestyle that I want to live, but I had to give them that part of my life to really get to a point of complete failure. So I didn't do it. And, I was a regular church goer. Pray. God hear you. You just got to be patient. 63 years. Come on now. I got a good 20 years left, that I'm looking at on this earth. And that's if I make it them 20 years, but thank God I didn't give it to the workforce. I gave it to me. I enjoyed this life as much as I could. And I would advise everybody else to figure out a way to enjoy life and stop, falling for. And let me say this about religion. I've heard a lot of people, after this information came out about Jesus was black and all evidence points to the fact that God was black as well, uh, they stopped believing, not just in the new information. They stopped believing in God and Jesus and everything else. Uh, so fuck you. I'll deal with him later. But at the same time, deal with me now, and I said, "Fuck you. You're a lying motherfucker." Let me put it on pause.
cross back here because I've noticed how you cross back over here. So I've been talking to him for a couple of weeks or so. I'm homeless, you know. I'm looking for food. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Hey, don't come around here with all that cross back. We'll talk right now. I don't know what kind of games you playing, bro. Games. Shit out, bro.
I apologize for that,
Go about things,
but
bro.
I'm in an area that is not a black area, so it happens all over. You know, it's a gentleman, I don't even know him. Never met him before in my life, but he did come to me, and he came to me wrong. If he would have asked me for something, maybe I'd have gave it to him, maybe I wouldn't. But the bottom line is, uh, this type of behavior is not just in the black community. This whole world, not just the United States, because if you look at other countries, they are just as bad off. And I'll include the Palestine in this conversation and Israel. You know, it's ridiculous that you want to wipe out a whole nation of people because of your religious belief. And let's go to the beginning. Man, man's first interaction with Almighty God was a black man, according to the Bible. The Bible that everybody is committed to. But according to that Bible, everything points to Adam. Now, if you're going to believe the Bible, Adam was a black man. So the first connection between man and God happened between a black man and God. And this information that God was giving man was received first by the black man. And there has never been another connection between man and God like the one Adam and God had until Jesus came. Now, do your research, check it out. And Jesus was a black man. So believe or not believe, and not believe because you getting the revelation that God and Jesus was black. The God that's in the Bible, it's proven that he was black. Look at the science. Look at the makeup of man. And the reason why I believe it, because when God created man, he gave man everything he needed to be on this earth as he created him. And the melanin in a man's DNA, that's what makes him black. So if God gave it to him in the beginning, he had to be black. The oldest fossil ever found in on this earth were of black descent. That's not a bad thing, you know. But if you think about it, from that time to this time, man has interjected himself in between God and man, and he started creating what he believed he needed to uh, uh, to rule. So now today, man want to have the face of goodness. Man want to have the face of holiness. You know, when he go on these missions and all this here other stuff, he want his face to be known. If a man give $2 billion to a cause, you know, that help suffering people, you better believe he got $150 billion. So 2 billion ain't nothing to him, and he's going to get it back. And that's just the way the system works. You know, it's so much you got to look at. And I mentioned the sheep mentality up front because so many people are scattered. You know, so they are scattered like sheep, and you know, all they believe in is what they see right now, and you know what's going on in the world today, which is the distraction. You more worried about Donald Trump than your own community. You more worried about Biden than your own community. You more worried about what's going on in the Middle East than your own community. Black people are the only one that function like this. You know, I'm not going to say they come together, but I listen to popular uh, uh, posts like I'm doing right now. And when I hear another black man say the black community is lost, it is gone, they have no hope, we finna lose a whole generation, I won't receive that. If you know that, let's come up with some solutions so we don't lose a whole generation. How about let's look at the Hollywood crew. They made all of this money and it don't mean nothing with to what they're going through right now. It's just chaos. It's just stuff that don't make any sense. Now I was gonna edit this video because of that brother who came up here, but I'm not gonna edit it because I believe that was something that was supposed to happen. I don't know this brother. He don't know me. He think he know me. Maybe he's off his medication. I don't know. But I want to point out this. This is not where I'm at right now is not a black community. This place here is thriving businesses from left to right and where I'm at right now. So don't just put foolishness on black people. Don't just put uh chaotic situation on black people. It happens everywhere. Just like that brother escaped that. If I would have did that to some white guy where I'm at right now, the police would be here in 2 seconds. you know, but we let stuff like that go because it is not even worth entertaining. Brother, go on about your business. You don't know me. I don't know you, so keep moving. But that's chaos. That's live chaos right there. And when the police respond to a situation like that, they coming in to make an arrest. Who you think they're gonna arrest? I mean, who they gonna believe? It's gonna be settled quick. It's not gonna draw a crowd. That's how fast they're gonna settle it. But community, they coming 10 cars deep, which thing that's totally unnecessary. you know so I'm not gonna delete that part of this video, but uh let's look at these things. It's got a lot of sheep, black sheep, walking around this country. I mean, they just lost, and they're not even trying to come out of a situation that this system created for them. Most don't even know who they are when they are great people. They are going through something in life. But most people who go through the most traumatic situations, they are all people with jobs, stress. And let me tell you this, when you deny the fact that you go to work for money, that's immediate depression because you're going against your whole reason for showing up for work. When you tell that boss man that I love my job, I can do this job for free. I ain't worried about no raise and all this here other stuff. You lying. You lying to yourself. You depressing your own self because it's going against everything that you show up for. And you show up for the money. And when the money is not enough, and in most cases, it's not enough. And this country is based on cheap labor. They have to have cheap labor in order for this current system to work. The criminal justice system is a prime example of this whole country. They can work a man for 50 years for 2 cents an hour, doing a job that society pay $30 an hour for a service. You know, they pay $30 an hour for this service in the world, but in prison, you get 2 cents an hour. And if you work hard enough, long enough, and committed enough, you might get up to $1 an hour. And they got to really like you to give you that dollar. So stay away from the criminal justice system. I've been tracking the problems in the Black communities. I see where the crime is contained to, and I see outside of that containment, you still got people who are afraid. That's the worst uh, feeling that you can have is fear. You cannot be scared to take chances on yourself. You cannot be afraid to uh, expect to live a happy life. Your life don't have to be controlled by all of the things that is controlled by now. So, you know, people, especially Black people, get a hold of yourselves. Now, that was just 5 people that changed the environment in one location. I'm going to encourage more people to like and subscribe to this channel. And I'm going to ask that more people sign up for the yearly participation with this company, to join this company, and let's get together. And all it takes when we decide to go talk to somebody, a letter with 1 signature on it does no good. A letter with 10 signatures on it does a lot of good. And people listen. Politicians, they listen because they want you to vote for them. They don't care if your lights out in your neighborhood, especially if they can come and tell you it's going to get better. And once they get in office, nothing changes. But if they know you watching and you paying attention to the promises and you doing and you doing you holding them accountable to do what they promised to do to your community. That's what you have to do. And I thank you for listening to this video, for watching this video. I'm going to leave contact information. You can send an email to teampurposehelp@yahoo.com. And that's how the process starts. You can leave a name and a number or an email address, and that's where the contact start. We'll direct you to the website, and you can see what part of the services that you need. If you don't like the internet, you can give us a call at 225-755-9215. That's 225-755-9215. And again, thank you for listening to this video. And anytime you feel like a sheep, like you can't make any decisions on your own life, it's time for a change. And this message is mainly for people 30 and above, because those are the ones that's locked in to a lifestyle that I'm telling you, you will regret if you have no vent for your own ideas. You haven't made a decision on what kind of life you want to live. You might say, I can live the life I want as an attorney. I know plenty broke attorneys. You might say, I know I can have this lifestyle if I just go to school and commit and become a doctor. I know plenty broke doctors. They got a lot of bills, but not a lot of money. They got a lot of respect, but not a lot of money. And if you say you don't need money, nothing but the money you having, you're lying. You want money and you want power. That's what you want, and you'll never get it working for the state. You'll never get it working on somebody else's job, because they're going to consume all your time. And that's time that you can be using. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying find a way. I'm saying start thinking about what's in you to move to more independence from somebody else controlling your life. From 8 to 5, or 5 to 9, or whatever. That's hours that They're not yours. They are yours, but you selling it to somebody else for monies that's not gonna be worth. It's not worth what you the value of your time. Time is the most valuable asset you have. Thanks again for listening to this video.